Thank you, Mark. Yeah, well, so I'm the sheriff here in Nashville. What a great job. A great place to live and be. And we, in the sheriff's office, we have a rich history of all sorts of things. It wouldn't surprise you that we have a rich history in criminal justice. That's kind of what we do and you would expect in the sheriff's office. But we've learned over the many years that there's a lot of crossover with the music industry. And I think being in Nashville, that may not surprise you. But we've run into all sorts of things that over the many years that kind of bring the two together. We're about to open a new jail complex here in 2 or 3 months, right about a mile from here. And on that site where that jail is being erected, 1982, 37 years ago, there was an opening of a jail on that same piece of property, and they had a huge ceremonial event. Waylon Jennings opened it up with a jailhouse rock and a big party and a lot of festive activity. There were no inmates there. It was all party. And I don't think that would surprise many people around Nashville. But what we've discovered and what we know, at least in the sheriff's office, is that the most impactful, influential country music legend in this country as it relates to the criminal justice system is Johnny Cash. There's just no doubt about it. Johnny Cash's interest in criminal justice is well documented. You can hear it, whether it be in the Folsom or the San Quentin visits, which were highly publicized. What most people didn't know was that what he was saying was more important maybe than what he was singing. He believed passionately in prison reform and criminal justice reform. Long before it was sexy to say that, he was talking about it. He was visiting prisons as early as 1957 that weren't publicized and trying to reach and help people who obviously were in the system. And so as time went on, his message of let's do something while people are incarcerated to change the likelihood that they'll come back and to assist them is really where this country is today. There's no secret about it. Whatever political party and whatever you're running for, everyone's talking about reforming and trying to change the system because it hasn't worked well. And I have to believe that Johnny Cash would be pretty happy about that. He talked about it, and even as late as 2003 when he passed away, was frustrated about the lack of progress as it relates to reform. And so I think he deserves a lot of credit, and I think as life and time goes on, some of these issues that you're reading and hearing about all over the country is a credit to the seeds he planted earlier in his life about reform. And so you can imagine with our interest, philosophically, that's who we are too. We're trying to do a lot of creative things in the jail system here in Nashville. We have for many years. You can imagine how excited we were when one of our photographers was stirring around in a box and found a photo of something that we want to present to Bill and making sure it stays where it belongs in the museum here. And so with that, I'd like to unveil what is I'll explain it a little better to you, but this is his actual, let's see there, can we get it this way? So this is his actual commission card. He was actually commissioned as a law enforcement deputy. This is not an honorary event. In 1979, some irony for you is that it was September 12th, 1979, exactly 24 years to the day that he passed away. He was commissioned here in Nashville with his signature, his fingerprint, and then that actual card would have been given to Johnny Cash so he could go throughout this county enforcing the laws. I don't know what he did with that. We don't have evidence of what his work was, but we're convinced that his work in trying to help people and keep our community safe continued. And so we want to present that to you, Bill, and to the museum, and make sure to have a permanent place for it. There we go. Thank you, Bill.
Let's hear it for the sheriff. Let's hear it for law.